Our news is brought to you by Alive.
Good evening, Bahamas. Coming up tonight, the National Security Minister says there is no evidence Bella Walker was sexually abused. This as the little girl's family reacts to latest information from police. The VAT Amendment Bill tabled, and Rev conjures up real magic and more Christmas. Welcome to our news and thanks for joining us. I'm Jillian Gray. Topping news tonight amid public furor over the shocking death of 4-year-old Deonia Bella Walker, National Security Minister Wayne Munro refuted claims that the child was sexually assaulted. This as police reveal she died as a result of blunt force trauma. Bethany McDermott reports.
While police remain tight-lipped, National Security Minister Wayne Munro says there is no evidence to suggest that 4-year-old Bella Walker was sexually assaulted. However, he stressed this in no way diminishes the physical assault that resulted in the little girl's death.
Nothing that I have seen. And what is distressing is this. A young child has been killed, right? Now, I understand the public's appetite for sleaze. But at the end of the day, I'm sufficiently outraged by a young child being killed that I don't require anything additional to be outraged.
Police confirmed late Tuesday night that the 4-year-old died as a result of blunt force trauma to the body, which resulted in multiple fractures. Reports of Bella's death triggered national outrage. Munro said with incidents like this, public outrage eventually fades with no results.
We get outraged, we kick up, and then after a while it goes flat. Marco's alert isn't active. We were all offended by Marco Archer's death. We don't need to insinuate anything more into something than is there. If a child dies, if it's by violence, that is unacceptable. And I don't understand that people don't see that as sufficient.
Well, as Wednesday's Parliament session got underway, parliamentarians paid their respects to the 4-year-old girl and her family. Leading the way was House Speaker Patricia DeVoe, who condemned the actions. While there are no reports that Bella was sexually assaulted, House Speaker Patricia DeVoe spoke out on the matter.
Beautiful Bella was tragically stripped of her innocence and robbed of a future to become a pioneer in our society. As a mother, I am appalled and mortified.
Marcos City MP Michael Pintard also condemned the incident and said it's time to send a clear message to perpetrators.
It is a painful thing, the kind of carnage that we have in the Bahamas in our homes, on our streets. But we continue on as a country almost immune to what is happening. But we have a chance.
Reporting for Our News, I'm Bethany McDermott.
While Bella Walker's heartbroken family says conflicting reports about the circumstances surrounding her death have not helped an already difficult situation, they're also advocating for Bella's law.
If she had lived, I would have felt better knowing she could just go counseling and get over it, maybe, but she died.
Pain, hurt, and regret are just some of the emotions felt by Shaniqua Marshall Thompson, who says Bella Walker lived with the family in Freeport until August. During that period, they developed an unbreakable bond.
Girl was so smart every day when you see her go in the yard there. She come out, Grammy, this is for you, the flower. This is for my auntie, because only her one had auntie.
Her grandmother said she was so upset that she fell ill over the weekend. For them, knowing how Bella died will help the healing process, but they're heartbroken over conflicting reports.
I'm hearing so many stories, I don't really know how she died.
No.
Because every time I listen to the news, it's something different. Now they're saying she wasn't sexually abused, they're saying she was just beaten to death, you know. And it's still sad, however, she died because she was just 4. She was very fragile.
Marshall Thompson, who would take Bella for ice cream regularly, says this tragedy will stay with her forever, especially because there were red flags before the incident happened.
I was then feeling funny, like she ain't happy, she don't want to be there, you know. And when I called her back, the first thing she said, I don't want to come to the Orange House no more.
Yeah.
You know? That was a red flag. And I know she was wondering why we ain't come for her yet. I know.
Neighbors have also said that there were signs that something was not right. Bella's grandmother hopes if someone else sees a child in danger, they will say something.
Oh, that damaged me when that woman said she could have saved the baby. Because she talks everything. She was that talkity set. Take after me, I like talk too. Can't take that from her. She ain't do nothing that bad to deserve that. She's a friendly baby. No, I know if I could forgive him for that.
They've not had contact with Bella's maternal family since the incident. The family is now advocating for Bella's law.
There needs to be stiffer laws and penalties for our little darlings. Any child that is abused, we have to put laws in place for perpetrators of this heinous crime. Also, what is going on with the sex offenders registry? I would like to know who these people are. So when they come into our community, we can point them out.
Meanwhile, police are investigating an incident involving a man who was stabbed by his girlfriend on Tuesday after she allegedly suspected him of sexually assaulting her 12-year-old daughter at a home in southwestern New Providence. Officers arrested the man and took the girl to hospital to be examined. While today, Commissioner of Police Paul Roll urged parents and others to be on the lookout for red flags that a child is being abused. Giorgio Bain has that.
When your children come to you and give you these information, don't just dismiss it. Don't just tell them, shut up, you're lying. But look into it for what it's worth.
Police Paul Roll calling on parents to be more vigilant. His comments follow an incident Tuesday evening when the mother of a 12-year-old girl stabbed her boyfriend after she suspected him of sexually assaulting the child. Police also confirming that blunt force trauma caused the death of 4-year-old Bella Walker on Friday. Roll says when looking at the extent of the 4-year-old's injuries, he's not sure what the perpetrator was thinking.
Whenever you're dealing with children, it takes on a different connotation. You have innocence. A 4-year-old, I don't know what they were thinking, but to see the extent of the injuries, internal injuries that were caused by the brutal force that was used. And then, of course, again, you heard the one yesterday with the 12-year-old. Some of the younger ones may not be able to speak for themselves.
Roll says parents and guardians need to observe telltale signs.
But if they are hearing, or the kids, these children, are complaining and saying that they don't want to go to the house, I don't want to go by uncle or I don't want to go by auntie, that should be a red flag. And they should be aware that the fact that they are afraid to go there, something is happening and something possibly can be happening.
Now, while the police chief is troubled by the two incidents that happened just days apart, he says he'll stay in his lane when it comes to recommending stiffer penalties for the persons committing these crimes.
I'm going to stay in my lane. We in the Royal Bahamas Police Force, we are tasked with investigating these matters. And I want to ensure that my officers do these investigations properly and we try to get as much answers to the family. Going to continue with our outreach to see how best we can continue to provide information to members of the public that they'll be able to be sensitized as would help. This help is there.
Roll also admonishing children in these circumstances not to be afraid to call the police. Reporting for our News, I'm Giorgio Bain.
The value-added tax amendment bill was tabled in Parliament today, bringing the Davis administration one step closer to reducing VAT to 10%. The bill seeks to amend the first schedule to the Act to remove the zero-rated application from several items, including breadbasket items, medicine, and baby food. VAT was introduced at 7.5% by the Christie administration in 2015. It was increased to 12% by the Minnis administration in 2018. Following 18 months of restrictions, the state of emergency is set to expire on Saturday. During debate in Parliament today, Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville admitted the rules to replace them may not be perfect, but they are absolutely necessary. Jasmine Brown reports.
I never indicated when we laid the rules that the rules were perfect.
The rules come into effect on November 13th, the day the state of emergency expires. The new rules will maintain the mandate to wear masks in public, social distancing protocols, sanitizing requirements, entry requirements into the country, and other restrictive measures currently imposed by the emergency order. Marcos City MP Michael Pintard says while he agrees the state of emergency needs to end, he takes issue with several aspects of the rules, including the powers granted to the Minister of Health.
Minister may, by order, impose such restrictions and implement such containment and mitigation measures as he deems necessary. You know, some fairly wide powers, member for West and Bimini, that the Minister of Health has. And so again, it's so important that when we characterize certain positions and then we come up with an alternative, that we be mindful that depending on how your duties are executed, that you could run the risk of functioning in the same way of that thing that you criticize.
It was a message not well received by the health minister.
You're incorrect.
Okay, so help me understand.
You're incorrect.
Members, understand.
Member, reel it and call me. Read it and call me.
Members, honorable members.
No one is in
Honorable
jeopardy.
members.
No one's in jeopardy.
Talk about the new rules came as parliamentarians debated the COVID-19 Pandemic Special Provisions Bill 2021. The bill that was passed on Wednesday afternoon allows for modifications to the Local Government Act, the Education Act, the Immigration Act, and the Data Protection Privacy of Personal Information Act, which were modified by the Emergency Powers Order. Dr. Darville says the government has consulted several sectors.
It's very difficult to manage a pandemic with rules. Let me explain to you why. We have had reports that we are too lenient. We have had reports that we are too tough. And the reality is, it is the ministry and the government responsibility to strike a workable balance that will be able to allow commerce to move, whereas we have an element of solid control of the pandemic.
Now, Dr. Darville says moving forward, the government is willing to hear out the opposition as he thinks COVID-19 should not be politicized. Reporting for our news, I'm Jasmine Brown.
Well, clear skies in the capital tonight. Greg Thompson has the first look.
Thanks, Jillian. Our first look at weather tonight is being brought to you by Ports International, trusted medical supplies for a better quality of life. Very comfortable conditions outside our studios once again this evening. Temperatures in the mid to upper 70s, 77 right now. Partly cloudy skies, winds out of the east at 6 knots with some occasional higher gusts, and your field slight temperature near 79 degrees. Satellite view, that frontal boundary hanging out across the southeast Bahamas, generating a few isolated showers and thunderstorms across that area. But high pressure remains in charge, keeping us a little bit on the breezy side. That should continue through tomorrow. That's your first look at weather. Your extended forecast is still to come.
Still to come, what's behind a decrease in vaccinations and boots on the ground as the top brass toward Bay Street. Stay tuned.
Reliable home Wi-Fi makes life easier, but when your coverage is spotty, it's frustrating. In some cases, your service may not be the issue. Here are 3 things to consider when dealing with spotty Wi-Fi. 1. The age of your device. If you're having trouble keeping devices connected, or if they're running slowly, it could be time for an upgrade. Older devices can slow down your network. To get the best out of your speeds, keep your devices and software up to date. 2. Your gateway settings. Your Rev modem or device broadcasts 2 signals, one at 2.4 GHz, which provides the most coverage, and one at 5 GHz, which delivers faster speeds. Choose the best connection to get the full benefit of both signals to reduce connectivity issues. 3. The size and construction of your home. If your home is large or has concrete walls, it could be affecting your Wi-Fi. If that's the case, an Eero Wi-Fi mesh from Rev may help extend your Wi-Fi signal throughout your home and eliminate some of the dead spots. At Rev, we aim to keep you connected to the things you love most. Rev, you and us, together.
Marco City Member of Parliament Michael Pintard expressing concern over the low vaccination rate. He says the numbers are not looking good. Nearly 5,500 doses were administered in the first week of November. The week before that, more than 8,000 doses were administered. And the week before that, more than 10,000 jabs.
It's a worrisome trend, and I'm hoping that it does not continue.
Health and Wellness Minister Dr. Michael Darville admitted the Ministry of Health and PAHO are both concerned about the drop in vaccinations over the last 3 weeks.
We are beginning to see a fall, and like any responsible government and any responsible ministry, it is our responsibility to begin to explore all of the reasons why. One of the things that we have noticed is that the largest centers, which is reflective of centers across the globe, are not as effective at this stage now that we have passed 40%. And it is our responsibility to now go to the people in smaller, different vaccination mobile units.
More than 136,000 people have been fully vaccinated in the Bahamas. The top brass of the police force touring the downtown area this afternoon to speak with residents, tourists, and store owners. Police Commissioner Paul Rolls said with 15,000 cruise passengers in port today, it was important to assess security needs in the area.
Our objective is to kind of be aware of that and to make sure that the senior team is aware so that we police this and we are prepared for the growth and the eventual return of tourism product back into the city, and to make sure that those who are visiting our shores are able to have a good experience without being bothered, but to be safe, to feel safe once they come onto the city area and do their walkthrough.
Roll said he will address several issues raised during today's walkabout.
I've spoken to Mr. Fields who's overseeing much of the work with the dock, and they have expressed some concern with vagrants and some peddlers, and we will have to find a way of dealing with them, because vagrants and the poor you'll have always, and we just have to find a way to integrate them and make sure that they don't interfere with the visitors.
When our news returns, Rev's got real magic and more Christmas this holiday season. And the UB Mingles feel the heat in Florida. The details when our news returns.
Reliable home Wi-Fi makes life easier, but when your coverage is spotty, it's frustrating. In some cases, your service may not be the issue. Here are 3 things to consider when dealing with spotty Wi-Fi. 1. The age of your device. If you're having trouble keeping devices connected, or if they're running slowly, it could be time for an upgrade. Older devices can slow down your network. To get the best out of your speeds, keep your devices and software up to date. 2. Your gateway settings. Your Rev modem or device broadcasts 2 signals, one at 2.4 GHz, which provides the most coverage, and one at 5 GHz, which delivers faster speeds. Choose the best connection to get the full benefit of both signals to reduce connectivity issues. 3. The size and construction of your home. If your home is large or has concrete walls, it could be affecting your Wi-Fi. If that's the case, an Eero Wi-Fi mesh from Rev may help extend your Wi-Fi signal throughout your home and eliminate some of the dead spots. At Rev, we aim to keep you connected to the things you love most. Rev, you and us, together.
Welcome back. This is our news. There is a tremendous pent-up demand for travel to the Bahamas, according to Tourism Minister Chester Cooper, who revealed there was a 1,000% increase in visitors coming to the Bahamas in September when compared to the same period last year.
In September 2021, a total of 158,000 travelers visited the Bahamas, up from only 5,000 in September of 2020. This is a year-over-year increase of more than 1,000%. Indeed, the Bahamas saw October ticket sales up more than 100% from the same period in 2019.
Cooper said overall the Caribbean has continuously ranked as the top performing region for international arrivals in the COVID era, adding October was only 15% down in arrival numbers compared to 2019. Well, as the countdown to Christmas begins, Rev is dishing up real magic and more Christmas. The Christmas campaign, which launched today, includes 31 days of giveaways for customers who can win up to $250,000 in prizes. Starting November 20th, Rev will host neighborhood moves, and on December 1st, dial up the Santa hotline.
We want persons to know that we care about your mortgage. We care about your light being on. We care about your cable services being on. We care about your water being on. We care about you just having cash in your hand to actually celebrate Christmas. We also care about that child who didn't get a Christmas gift in the last 3 years because of the circumstances they went through in the last 3 years. So we have a Santa IVR where you can call in and tell Santa what you want, and we will deliver to you.
Community events will be held in Pinewood, Elizabeth, Carmichael, and a few family islands. The campaign is for Rev Trio customers who pay their bills in full or upgrade to the Trio Plus bundle, which now includes the Amazon Aero Wi-Fi mesh router.
Included in it, we will have premium sports, which of course is the NBA League Pass, the NFL Sunday Ticket, English Premier League, and that is over 20 channels of premium sports valued at about $600. We will include HBO, 10 channels. We will also include a kids pack of 9 channels and HBO Max, our OTT application that allows you to watch HBO content anytime, anywhere on your mobile device and on your TVs. And we will also include up to 40 hours of recorded content on your DVR.
The UB Mingos suffering a tough loss in their basketball season opener in Florida. Marcellus Hall has that in tonight's sports.
Thanks and welcome to our sports, everybody. I'm Marcellus Hall. The college basketball season is underway, and UB Mingos, they're underway as well. This past weekend, seeing their first action on the court in Florida. Let's see how they did. UB men's basketball team taking on Johnson University's Suns over the weekend, kickoff to the university's homecoming week. Mingos did have an early double-digit lead on the Sun and led by as many as 14 about halfway through the first of the match at about 20-6. Suns, though, they stormed back. They ended the half with the Mingos leading 29-25. Second half, Suns came back on a different team. They stormed to a quick lead. Mingos could not hold off the charge. They fall 68-55 in the team's first match since March of 2020. The team said they felt good about the performance despite the loss.
When you're not playing that type of competition consistently, you know, your body reacts a bit differently, and some of our guys started to cramp up. But all in all, you know, I'm very proud of the guys. They came out, they gave it their best. You know, we had a great run, but I think our legs got tired. Once our legs got tired, you know, mentally we may have lost it, you know. But it's all about trying to keep the edge, staying aggressive, and do what we practice in order to be successful.
I like the way we played at the beginning of the game. We got on them from the jump. Coming down to the second half, we were up 4. We could have maintained the lead because people started to like get fatigued, stuff like that, and we started to make some really risky turnovers.
We had a very good start in the game. We came out strong, we came out ready, we came out prepared. We just got a lot of turnovers.
And there is indeed your look at sports for you here on this Hump Day Wednesday. I'm Marcellus Hall. Back to you.
Thanks, Marcellus. Up next, Greg is back with the extended forecast. Stay with us.
Reliable home Wi-Fi makes life easier, but when your coverage is spotty, it's frustrating. In some cases, your service may not be the issue. Here are 3 things to consider when dealing with spotty Wi-Fi. 1. The age of your device. If you're having trouble keeping devices connected, or if they're running slowly, it could be time for an upgrade. Older devices can slow down your network. To get the best out of your speeds, keep your devices and software up to date. 2. Your gateway settings. Your Rev modem or device broadcasts 2 signals, one at 2.4 GHz, which provides the most coverage, and one at 5 GHz, which delivers faster speeds. Choose the best connection to get the full benefit of both signals to reduce connectivity issues. 3. The size and construction of your home. If your home is large or has concrete walls, it could be affecting your Wi-Fi. If that's the case, an Aero Wi-Fi mesh from Rev may help extend your Wi-Fi signal throughout your home and eliminate some of the dead spots. At Rev, we aim to keep you connected to the things you love most. Rev, you and us, together.
This is our news. Welcome back. Possible thunderstorms ahead. Greg is back in studio with the latest.
Thanks again, Jillian, and welcome back, everybody, for your second look at weather on this beautiful Wednesday evening. Satellite view, frontal boundary across the southeast Bahamas with some moisture associated with that affecting the southeastern islands, the Turks and Caicos Islands, and they're now getting some showers and isolated thunderstorms earlier today. We expect that boundary to slide out towards the southeast. High pressure to the north will slide out eastwards as well, but it will keep us breezy through tomorrow. That's all paving the way for a frontal boundary now across the central portions of the United States. Should get in here by Friday, some showers associated with that system with a nice cool down once that frontal boundary goes through, beginning by the end of the week. In the tropics, we're watching an area out in the open Atlantic, National Hurricane Center giving it about a 50% chance for formation, but it's going to stay out there. The remainder of the tropics, quiet, and tropical cyclone formation is not expected through the next 5 days. Beaching and boating forecast for all areas tonight through tomorrow. Caution flag for all boaters. East to southeast winds 15 knots actually. Seas 3 to 5 feet, but we expect some swells out there still up to 8 feet. Tide is presently low, will be high at 12:47 in the morning. Here's a look now at your national forecast. A look now at your extended forecast through Monday. That's a look at our weather. Make it a safe night, everybody. Back to you, Jillian.
Well, thanks so much for joining us tonight for our news. On behalf of the entire news team, I'm Jillian Gray. Do have a beautiful evening.